Well, good Friday morning, everyone. What a week. What a week we've had. We've been looking at the way that the Bible and Jesus has impacted our country's history. And today is probably as much or more than all those put together, because everything that we talk about today, you can go see right now. And that was true of yesterday's show also. But today we're talking about, well, I'll give you a hint, Washington, D.C. Hey, before we go any further, though, let me remind you, this is Friday. So on the weekend, tomorrow at 9 a.m., I'll be teaching on in our foundations class, which is open to anyone, whether you've been there before or not. We'll be talking about the second coming of Jesus Christ back to earth, end time events. And I know that'll bless your heart. Clubhouse 5, room 1 in the front. And we serve coffee and snacks 9 to 10:15 or so. So we'd love to have you come out and meet you. Just try it once. Sunday, of course, is our worship time. And that is also in Clubhouse 5 main room at 9 and 11. And we do serve a continental breakfast with coffee and eggs and all kinds of stuff. It's awesome. Come worship. Come worship your Lord. We'd love to have you. Today, actually, I mentioned it the last couple of days, but one more time, 9 a.m., 9 to 10:30 is our food distribution. We use the parking lot graciously loaned us by the United Methodist Church there on Moulton, right next to Coffee Bean. Come on out. We'd love to be a blessing in your life. If I ask you what event happened, I know you wouldn't know this, most likely. What actually happened on December 6th, 1884? I had never heard of it, but on that date, Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Casey of U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, he got on a scaffolding, and 555 feet into the air, above the ground, he supervised the placing of the capstone on the Washington Monument. But what's written on that capstone? What's on the very top of the Washington Monument, and therefore the highest thing in Washington, D.C.? When the sun comes up, it immediately shines on that first, and it's the phrase Laus Deo, Latin for praise be to God. Praise be to God. Can you imagine? That is what is on the top of the Washington Monument. It actually is Psalm 68 at verse 35, a great verse for today. Praise be to God. Does that not warm your heart? It really does mine, that's our nation, founded on Christian principles, and for many, many Christian reasons, has as the capstone of its tallest monument, praise be to God. It's a wonderful praise to be said by us all, and it sets the stage. You know, it's really fitting. By the way, in the bottom of the Washington Monument, there is a box, and in that box was put the Holy Bible. So also in the bottom cornerstone of the whole Washington Monument is a keepsake copy of the Holy Bible. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? So in addition, have you ever walked up the Washington Monument? Well, friends, when I was 21 years old, I did a very foolish thing, and I walked from the bottom to the top of that monument. I can't recommend it for anybody. And about halfway through, I was mad at myself for having tried to do it because it was hot in there and so many steps. But what I saw along the way is, along that whole way, Bible verses and prayers are etched into the stone of inside the Washington Monument. Wow. What a fitting tribute both for George Washington, but also for our country. You know, Washington, D.C. is so filled with Bible references that it's often been called the virtual Bible etched in stone. Because as you go around it, you will find the Bible referenced way more than anything else. Why? Because this country is built on biblical principles. And that's why it's worked so well and has received God's blessing. Just as a couple of examples. In the Lincoln Memorial, notice when you go there, and I hope you do if you have not, in his second inaugural address, which is etched in the stone, there are 14 references to God and 4 complete Bible verses. Why? Because that's what Lincoln used in his address. And it was so warmly received, we still remember it to this day. His second inauguration address. In the National Archives, you can go there and check out the bronze emblem of the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments are on the floor of the National Archives. And then you can go right down the hall to the display of the original Declaration of Independence, and of course that has many references to God. For instance, I know we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their what? I know you know it. By their creator with certain inalienable rights. And it refers to God numerous times. Over the Supreme Court, the 10 Commandments again are all over the Supreme Court building. And each session of the Supreme Court opens with, God save the United States and this honorable court. A form of a prayer opens every Supreme Court session. The U.S. Capitol, of course, is a treasure trove. The rotunda has 8 massive oil paintings. I hope you've seen those. 2 of those remember prayer meetings, early prayer meetings, and the 3rd shows a baptism. And then others have an open Bible that says you can read the words, God with us. The House of Representatives, Moses is shown full-faced and gazing down on the legislators above the speaker's rostrum of the House of Representatives says what? In God we trust. The U.S. Senate, same thing. In God we trust. And you know, you can go on and on and on. The Library of Congress has one of the most prominent displays of what? The Gutenberg Bible. The first Bible. Friends, I am so honored to be a part of a country that honors God. I hope we get back to doing that in our day-to-day life as a country. But I hope you've enjoyed this week. Our forefathers and our founding is based on following Christ. God bless. Have a great weekend. I hope you see you at worship this Sunday. Bye for now. See you next week.
And I won't worry about tomorrow.